Find out the urgent measures to address the situation now. The Law Reform and Revision Commissioner says a proposed sexual offenses amendment bill is not a campaign against husbands. This as the National Security Minister says the rate of crime under Providence is down. Plus, in our news at 7:30, a second constitutional motion in the corruption case of an embattled MP is dismissed. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Notes. We're coming to you live from Margaritaville Beach Resort in the historic downtown district. We've been broadcasting live this week as the country continues the countdown to Independence 50. Of course, a special thanks to Bahari for outfitting the entire Our News team today. You'll get to see some of those outfits in a moment, and we'll have much more on the celebrations. But first, now to what's making news. Saturation patrols by the Royal Bahamas Police Force leading to a drop in crime on New Providence. That's according to National Security Minister Wayne Monroe. He broke down the numbers by divisions in today's weekly press briefing.
The year-to-date comparison for the Central, Northwestern and Southern divisions that make up Bain and Grantstown decreased by 15% for Central, 44% for Northwestern, and 7% for Southern Division. And these are crimes that relate to quality of life crimes. The South Central Division experienced a decrease of 16% year to date.
In recent months, the police force has gotten multiple shipments of new vehicles, the latest field trucks set to join saturation patrols.
My constituency of Freetown has seen a decrease of 38%. And year-to-date, crime decreases in the Fox Hill Division has fallen by 42%. And in Carmichael, which represents the largest police, that has fallen by 26%.
All right, a southern New Providence resident held up outside his home just after midnight. Police tell us the victim was sitting in his vehicle outside his Pink Meadow Drive home off Faith Avenue when he was approached by a gunman wearing a dark hooded jacket. The suspect demanded he get out of his 2012 white Honda Civic, and that's when police say a second suspect jumped in the driver's seat and sped off. Investigations are ongoing. And the Court of Appeal has upheld a 2022 ruling that awarded $103,000 in damages to a man who was injured by police officers during an arrest. On September 17, 2018, Lyndon Saunders was riding his motorcycle east on Prince Charles Drive when he encountered a traffic accident. Now, Saunders decided to ride on the sidewalk to bypass that accident. And while being arrested, a police officer body slammed him face first on the ground, causing him to shatter his teeth. Now, a second officer placed his knee on Saunders' neck, making it difficult for him to breathe. If you want to read that story again, head over to ournews.bs. Meanwhile, the Sexual Offences Bill 2023 is not a campaign against husbands or an attack on the institution of marriage. That's according to Law Reform Commissioner Dame Anita Allen, who says to call the marital rape bill, or to call it that at least, would be inaccurate. She spoke with Our News after addressing a forum of civil servants on the proposed bill on Wednesday.
Of course, there are other proposals in the bill in relation to consent, clarification of the meaning of consent, and what is and what is not a defense to a charge of rape. So yes, I think that the bill was well received today, and hopefully all of the comments will inform our decisions relative to, how we could improve the bill going forward.
And now to North Andros, as we said, where residents are not only dealing with power issues, but water as well. We're learning yesterday's catastrophic fire at BPL's power plant in Nicholstown also impacting the area's water supply. Deputy Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Keishla Adderley, says a new generator is needed.
The well fields, as you may know, were also affected by this situation, and it's been determined that a new generator at a cost of about $88,000 it's being proposed that a new generator will have to be put in place to completely resolve the issue there of water generation.
All right, we'll have more on what's next for those residents and an update on the fire from the Minister of Works in our news at 7:30 with Italia Hall. Before we get to that, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kenyon. Happy Thursday evening, everybody. After we got some showers, early morning showers, and the sun came out, it really heated up today. Temperatures now settling into the mid-80s, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We have a slight breeze out there, southerly winds at 30 miles per hour, but it's still making it feels like 89 degrees on the outdoors. Right now, it's 86 in Freeport, 85 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 88 in Allenstown, Bimini. We pick up 83 in Great Harbor Key with some showers nearby. 84 in Nicholstown, Governor's Harbor, you guys are 86. More 86 popping up in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, and in Arthurstown, Cat Island, as well as Deadman's Key, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, 82. And into the southeast Bahamas, got a little more in the mid-80s here. 86 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Matthewtown, Inagua, Abrahams Bay, you are 87, and our neighbors to the southeast, Tricks and Caicos Islands, you are 87 at this hour as well. Satellite and radar composite, we got a bit of a clearing across central and southeast Bahamas. Still some moisture in place, so we're still seeing some isolated showers and thunderstorms across those areas, and we expect those conditions to continue through tonight and into tomorrow. There's that upper level low just to the east of the Bahamas that's still pumping some moisture across us, and we will continue to watch that as it moves away from us. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
We are just getting started in our news, but when we come back, it's last call for the Independence Night Market. Plus, 4 days away from the Big 50 and sales of Independence gear skyrocket. But first, nothing but fun in the sun at Fins Up Water Park, Margaritaville. Our Joshua Williams dives right in when our news returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest.
If new, Heineken Silver was a riveting Viking saga. If new, Heineken Silver was a riveting Viking saga.
Lars the 12th, your family tortured my first wife and stole my second favorite goat. Now you want to marry my daughter. Okay.
All the taste, no bitter endings. Smooth, fresh, silver.
Welcome back to our news, broadcasting live from one particular harbor and Margaritaville Beach Resort. It's time to dive into our next Margaritaville feature. Our Joshua Williams traded in his shirt and tie for a swimsuit during a recent visit to the Fins Up Water Park. Now, Joshua, I heard you had a lot of fun on this particular segment.
Hi, Candino. I certainly did. It was a fun time here at the Fins Up Water Park. You know, it's a family-friendly atmosphere, excellent amenities. But what was most exciting was that I discovered a level of bravery inside of me that I didn't know that I had before. So let's check it out.
A day of splashing, diving, and relaxation at the Fins Up Water Park is the simple fix for a hot summer day. Open to tourists and residents, the park is unique.
Well, I think it's our personalized service that we offer. You know, it's, again, you know, we're not as big as the other water parks, but I hear it from every time our guests just mention that it's just the personalized service that we offer. You know, I get to know the customer get to know me, and when they leave, they look forward to coming back and enjoying it, and they call us family, and we like to call them the same.
The water park has something for everyone, including slides, pools, surfing, and a full beach access, to name a few. Customer service is number one, says Recreational Department Director Neville Adderley.
Customer service, customer service, customer service. We like to keep these guests coming back. You know, there's some options out there, but again, personalized service is where we think we're going to win out, and obviously proximity, it lends to our advantage as well.
Now it's time for the fun part. Join me as I dive into the Fins Up Water Park.
Just submit, just like that.
Hey, I couldn't see a thing.
During my day at the park, I spoke to this visitor who says she simply couldn't get enough.
I love it. We've been here every day for the past probably 5 days, and probably the lazy river is my favorite. Just like being around in there, just floating around the whole day. It's so good. So back home, it's pretty much raining all week. Just probably not even 60 here. Obviously, it's super nice. I would be here every day. Honestly, I love it here. So.
Finally, I decided to attempt the resort's trademark Fins Up dive that's 11 feet high.
Now, the park manager informed me that was more of a belly flop, and our morning host, Nikia, this morning said it looked like a whale flop to her, and looking back at it, I can agree with her, actually. So stay tuned for more tonight and see if I actually survived the fall. Back to you, Kendina.
All right, thanks a lot, Joshua. Well, if you've passed the downtown area any night this week, then you know Pompey Square. It's come alive thanks to the launch of the night market. The pop-up market, hosted by the National Independence Secretariat, features local artisans, Bahamian food, and live entertainment. It's one of the liveliest events in the lead up to the 50th Independence celebration. Danielle Miller, she's attended every night, including tonight. She's going to join us on our news at 7:30 with another close-up look. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. All right, with Independence, as we said, just a few days away, Bahamians have been out and about preparing for the big day. Jamila Mizik, she stopped by several stores, now reporting a bump in sales.
Bahamians are pulling out all the stops this year in honor of the country's 50th year of independence. Manager at Home Fabrics, Eldika Gittin, says if you came to their store this week, you could hardly find parking space.
I think because it is the 50th, we have more people who came out, and people are more patriotic than ever. We didn't expect this like this, but it's good.
Over at Commonwealth Fabrics, head cashier Megan Saunders says their custom fabrics for the 50th anniversary have been a hot seller.
African prints also. Persons are really gravitating towards those also because they have like fun prints that you can make cute outfits out of.
But bigger businesses aren't the only ones stepping up their game this year. I spoke to this small business owner who says the decision to sell Independence paraphernalia was a no-brainer.
We've actually been out here for several weeks now, and the sales have picked up tremendously, so it's going very well. We've been selling out, especially of the flags, on a daily basis, several times a day. We've had to replenish.
Now for this vendor on Robinson Road, she says things are beginning to pick up slowly, but she's hoping to see bigger business in the coming days.
Okay, I've been doing this for quite a few years. Actually, I was one of those vendors from our Bailey Park that started the cute stuff for Independence. And this year, I just thought that people will go all out, so I really wanted to have unusual stuff that other people didn't have.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jamila Mizik.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as 300,000 teachers across the UK strike. Plus, Meta launches its own version of Twitter. And the dark side of fireworks in tonight's Sustainability First report when our news returns.
Charlie Bahama is back with new episodes.
Battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury. Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Welcome back to Our News. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Some 300,000 teachers across England launched another wave of strikes due to an ongoing dispute over pay. Teachers who are members of the National Education Union, Europe's largest union, education union, say they will also hold industrial action on July 7th. The NEU has held 5 national and 3 regional strike days this year. UK's Education Secretary Gillian Keegan says ongoing strikes are undermining the stability of children's education.
Let me be clear. We should not be having these strikes in general, but certainly not now. Children have been through so much in the pandemic, and I can't think of a worse time to be willingly keeping them out of school. And we know that it's critical to ensure that children spend as much time in school as possible, because that time spent in school is time well spent. School provides stability, it provides education, it provides support, it provides community. But there are significantly more children missing school than before the pandemic.
Instagram owner Meta has launched its Threads app, which experts say could attract Twitter users unhappy with recent changes to the platform. The app is now available to download in over 100 countries, but not yet in the European Union because of regulatory concerns. Users can create posts of up to 500 characters, and many features are similar to those found on Twitter. Meta calls the new app an initial version with extra features planned, including the ability to interact with people on some other social media apps. And now to the region, where over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Commissioner Ray Martinez is describing the fatal shooting of Detective Delbert Phipps as a callous and cowardly act. Phipps, a 7-year police veteran, was shot while he and another officer were responding to a report that a heavily armed man was seen walking in an area known as Jaw Yard. Phipps and his colleague engaged the suspect who was identified as 50-year-old Richardson Dangleben, and he allegedly shot at them with a high-powered assault rifle. Fighting back tears, Martinez took to the territory's judicial system to task, saying Phipps may have been alive today had the court just done its job.
Suspect in today's shooting was out on bail. Was out on bail for a February first-degree murder charge. I have friends, colleagues, and individuals that work for the judicial system, for the judicial branch. But today's episode, and many before us, speaks volumes to the fact that our court systems and our judges need to do better when it comes to bail.
A tourist was bitten by a shark while snorkeling in the waters of Galapagos Islands. The Ecuadorian authorities said the attack happened around 1 p.m. The victim, identified as a Mexican woman with U.S. citizenship, was taken to a hospital on Santa Cruz, the largest island in the Pacific Ocean archipelago. Shark attacks are relatively rare in the Galapagos, which was made famous by 19th century British naturalist Charles Darwin, whose observations of life on the islands inspired him to develop his theory about evolution, natural selection, and the origin of species. And back here at home, we all love fireworks. I know I certainly do, and we're sure to see a lot of them this holiday weekend as we gear up for our Golden Jubilee celebrations. But you may be surprised to hear that fireworks have an environmental dark side. In tonight's Sustainability First report, our Marlena Leonard unpacks what fireworks leave behind and also the future of these spectacular displays.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
It's Independence season, and of course this celebration isn't like any other year. For our Golden Jubilee, we've pulled out all the stops, and it's safe to say the fireworks on July 10th will be spectacular. But as bright and beautiful as they are, fireworks also have a dark side. They release a laundry list of contaminants into the air that can negatively affect air quality and efforts to combat climate change, including sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. They can also add to microplastic pollution in the water, which can then be consumed by marine life. So, what's the alternative? Well, last year, for our 49th Independence celebrations, choreographed drones were incorporated into the celebrations for the light show. These alternatives not only offer a cleaner alternative, but also offer more creative license and present opportunities to have things like an illuminated blue marlin light up our night sky. So, enjoy the fireworks and all of the celebrations coming our way this Golden Jubilee. But remember, for us to enjoy the 100th celebrations 50 years from now, be mindful of what you leave behind. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was July 6th. And then in Our News at 7:30, the Works Minister says North Andros residents should have power restored tonight after that catastrophic BPL plant fire. Plus, our Joshua Williams takes a deep dive at the Fins Up Water Park at Margaritaville when Our News returns.
If new, Heineken Silver.
Welcome to The Rewind, an Our News monthly podcast
where we discuss various different topics in the Bahamian society.
I'm your host, Jasmine Lundy.
I'm your co-host, Janae.
I don't like eggs enough.
I get the vibes.
Hey, let's put that on a shirt.
Go by our last names.
Yeah.
This is The Rewind.
Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was July 6th. Take a look.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1986, there was a Chicago Tribune news article about the Goombay Festival. Then, in 2006, Nassau International Airport on New Providence is officially renamed Lynden Pindling International Airport. This airport was founded many years ago on the western side of New Providence. NIA immediately opened up the Bahamas for tourism and was, and still is, the biggest and busiest airport in the Bahamas and the fourth busiest airport in the Caribbean. Years after its establishment, the PLP government renamed the airport in honor of the first Prime Minister, with his statue coming at a later date. And finally, in 2015, a 19-year-old Stephen Gardner defeats the 400-meter world champion. Gardner made his country proud when he outran LaShawn Merritt to win the gold and a meet in Budapest, Hungary, with a time of 44.3 seconds. Born on September 12, 1995, Gardner started his career as a competitive volleyball player while also running track and field. One day, he became fully invested in running and since then has won the 2019 and 2020 Olympic World Championship.
Stevie Gardner made his country proud today when he outran LaShawn Merritt to win the gold at a meet in Budapest, Hungary. The up-and-coming sprint sensation set a new national record last week at home, but took his speed to the other side of the world, beating out a competitive lineup, including the world champion in a time of 44.3 seconds.
Most, ahogy bejönnek, és jön az utolsó 80 méter, akkor LaShawn Merritt elindul, de jön mögötte Stephen Gardner, és a Bahamai meg fogja verni. 44-31. Óriási versenycsúcs. Óriási versenycsúcs ez tavaly. Chris Brown futott a 45-21-jel, több mint egy másod, nem, kevesebb mint egy másod, de majdnem egy másodperccel. Stephen Gardner.
We do it again. Bahari pop-up shop making its way to Grand Bahama this week. Representative Davina Rutherford says the brand brought lots of unique pieces from its 10th Independence collection, which she says aligns perfectly with the country's 50th anniversary.
We're happy to be able to come back to the city that birthed Bahari and where it all started. We wanted to pay homage to our Bahamian heritage with a collection and really took time to curate a collection that would tell the story of our heritage and history in a way that it hasn't been done before. We are in awe of the level of support and we look forward to another 10 years and beyond as we continue to celebrate our culture and heritage through fashion.
All right, and of course, our thanks to Bahari. They've outfitted the entire Our News team in Bahari gear. And our Italia Hall, who is up now, News at 7 is done. She's wearing one of their pieces. Italia?
All right, Ken, yes, I am in Bahari tonight. I love all of the pieces so far.
Yeah.
What do you think about the outfit?
This one looks really nice, especially so the yellow and the aquamarine together. Yeah. Yeah, so I figured I'd balance it out with the black.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have lots more news to get to. Here are your latest headlines.
Strong words first tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. A retired judge setting the record straight following a concern made at a forum, and progress on the island of Andros as power is expected to be restored soon. And fins up at the Margaritaville Beach Resort's water park. Our Joshua Williams is live on location. And later, a popular Bahamian brand now has official approval to carry the country's national symbols. Our News Live at 7:30 starts in a moment.
I'm so excited that we're able to offer SOC 2 compliance for our business customers. It means that Cable Bahamas has achieved high levels of certifications to international standards, which allows those customers and their applications to connect securely through our data center, whether it's their business operations or their off-site backup with their cloud solutions and other applications. It means that we all benefit from that network security.
Today, our coral reefs are in dire straits. They are dying at an alarming rate.
These ecosystems are under lots of threats.
There's multiple strategies for saving coral reefs, and one of the strategies is in restoration.
So we can start to revitalize the reef systems and protect the marine life in the Bahamas.
It's all about increasing environmental awareness. Atlantis believes healthy reefs support a healthy Bahamas.
Make your mornings brighter. with our news this morning, live from Margaritaville in downtown Nassau. Starting July 3rd to 7th, the team you already trust helps start your day informed and inspired. Join us from 6:30 a.m. for the latest headlines, riveting stories, and a view of the world that matters to you. Don't forget to set your alarms. Our News This Morning on Channel 212 and the Our News Bahamas Facebook page.
I'm so excited that we're able to offer a soft
Welcome to our news at 7:30. I'm Natalia Hall. We're broadcasting live from number 2 Bay Street, which is home to the beautiful Margaritaville Beach Resort. We've been here all week as we continue to mark the country's 50th independence. And a special thanks to Bahari for providing our team with these amazing shirts today. Well, a judge today dismissed a second constitutional challenge by embattled F&M MP Adrian Gibson, aimed at stopping his corruption trial that is slated for July 24th. Muriel Ducille Casey argued on behalf of Gibson and his co-accused, Joan Knowles, Jerome Mizik, that their constitutional right to a fair hearing within a reasonable time had been breached because the Supreme Court lacked the jurisdiction to hear the charges they face, while Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson ruled that the defendants' constitutional rights had not been breached by the presentation of the voluntary bill of indictment, as all of the charges were properly before the court. Well, the Court of Appeal in June ordered the trial to continue after dismissing another constitutional motion brought by Ducille. Well, a retired judge setting the record straight after the audience at a consultative forum expressed concern for their sons when it comes to the Sexual Offenses Amendment Bill 2023. Retired Judge Carol Munnings says the proposed bill would simply allow married women to report a matter that would be seen as a crime if she didn't have a ring on her finger.
To say that, oh, now I have to worry about my son because what is he going to get himself into? Well, guess what? If he isn't going to rape his wife, he doesn't have anything to worry about. That is why we have courts and judges and police and investigation.
Well, power should be restored in Andros by the end of the day. That's according to Minister responsible for BPL, Alfred Sayers. A catastrophic fire at BPL's power plant in Nicholstown, North Andros, left residents without electricity since early Wednesday morning.
They have been working. They have secured 2 engines from M&E. Those engines were transported to Andros yesterday, arrived yesterday evening. They've been working through the night. One of the engines should be up and running by midday, which means that the part of the island will be energized. And sometime this evening, the entire island will be electrified.
All right, well, as CARICOM bands together to find solutions to the ongoing instability in Haiti, 2 countries are now committing to aid in the form of manpower for the country. Berthany McDermott explains.
At a CARICOM heads of government meeting in Trinidad and Tobago, U.S. State Secretary Anthony Blinken said a multinational force is needed to help Haiti's national police. He says it's an area of intense focus for them. CARICOM Chairman Roosevelt Scarrett.
Secretary Blinken indicated, because we shared with him our views, our thinking, and he indicated to us that what we're proposing is really not far away from their own thinking.
Countries like the Bahamas have been impacted in recent years with thousands of Haitian nationals looking to escape to neighboring countries. But the U.S. isn't the only country stepping up to help Haiti. Scarrett also revealing this commitment from Rwanda.
Its willingness to provide peacekeeping and security personnel and to help strengthen the National Police of Haiti.
Skerritt says Rwanda also pledged to engage the African Union in hopes of getting broad-based support from that region. He says moving forward, there are a number of steps to be taken, like a United Nations security resolution on the issue in Haiti.
So that we can get a coalition of nations who are prepared to support the Haitian government, Haitian people, in addressing both the security and humanitarian crisis in Haiti.
But how will that be financed?
We believe that France and Canada and the United States and others, it's a matter we have put to them, and we'll be advancing this from the Caribbean Committee standpoint.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, well, it's time for our first check on weather. Our Greg Thompson joins us from the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome everybody for a quick check on conditions outside our studios right now. It's 85 degrees under warm and humid conditions. Southerly winds at 13 miles per hour, and your field-like temperature is at 89. Satellite view, showers and thunderstorms occurring across the northwest Bahamas early this morning and portions of this afternoon. We still have some showers popping up across the central Bahamas as well. All that moisture associated with an upper-level trough or low that's spinning out to the east of us. We will continue to see that trend throughout the night and into tomorrow. That's a quick check on conditions outside our studios, so look at your extended forecast that's still to come.
Still to come on Our News, Fins Up. Our Joshua Williams is live at Margaritaville's water park. He'll tell you all about it. Also, a well-known Bahamian brand has received the green light to officially use the country's national symbols. And as the road to 50 continues, downtown Nassau comes alive tonight. We'll tell you all the details when Our News returns. Stay with us.
Are you or
Welcome back to Our News, broadcasting live from one particular harbor and the Margaritaville Beach Resort. Well, our Joshua Williams is back after leaving us in suspense earlier. Joshua, we want to know, did you conquer your fears and take the big dive?
Well, Italia, let me say this. The fun here at the resort is not just limited to the ground floor. We are 4 levels up here at the adult SOS swimming pool. It has a beautiful view of the Nassau Harbor, and it was here where I spent the remainder of my day.
You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation. We'll get back to that. My day at the Finsup Water Park started much calmer with the director of the recreational department at Finsup, Neville Adderley, showing me the family-friendly atmosphere.
You got to check it out. And we've had residents come in, and persons love to bring their kids, families. It's kids friendly. It is truly kids friendly. The kids love the lazy river ride. Again, you know, I've worked with some of the bigger entities, water park, and you know, there's no restrictions in the height where you have to be only a certain height to access the park. Kids can come and enjoy it from the small kids under 4 feet tall, the bigger kids who's over 4 feet tall. Parents can accompany their kids on some of the bigger aqua bikes.
It was these aqua bikes and other ocean toys that intrigued me. Did I do a good job? Not so much. For those guests that are looking for something less adventurous, the SOS Adult Infinity Pool is your choice. While I enjoyed the pool and beach activities, there was one particular thing I had been avoiding all day. It was now time to take the dive. After a hearty laugh from onlookers, I realized that the attempt was a complete failure, so I tried again.
All right. Fins up.
So let that be a reminder you today to conquer your fears. So I just need a minute. So my heart can come back up.
Well, Italia, let me tell you, I survived, and I am here to tell the tale. Now, I know this week you've been invited to the spa, you've been invited to the garden, but take this personal invitation from me. I want you to grab your bathing suit once you're done and dive into the Finsup Water Park with me. Back to you.
Josh, you're brave and I'm not. Good luck with that, but thank you so much for the invite. Well, that's our Joshua Williams reporting live from Margaritaville's Water Park. Well, days after he revealed Bahari, Bahamas did not have permission to feature Bahamian national symbols on its brands, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the company made the application and has been approved.
The Bahari folk who advertised broadly and put an email address in their advertisements were emailed. They did not respond. At the press conference, I think I made it clear that we intended to enforce the law, and you ought not lose thousands of dollars of inventory for the want of $20. I'm made to understand that they deny knowing about the press release in May twice, the press conference on Monday, or having received the email.
All right, downtown has come alive this past week thanks to the launch of Jubilee in Pompey Square night market and concert series. The pop-up market, which is hosted by the National Independence Secretariat, features local artisans, Bahamian food, and live entertainment. Our Danielle Miller joins us from Pompey Square, and Danielle, it looks like a lot of fun.
It is, Italia, and guess who I managed to snag tonight? None other than Bahamian entertainer, Florty.
Florty in the building, Florty in the building.
And I have to say this, Mahalia, where you been, gal? I've been looking for you.
You already know what's going on, you already know what's going on.
I have to ask you one question.
Yeah.
What's the energy like out here? I don't want y'all to hear it from me tonight. I want you to hear it from Florty.
Listen to me. I just reached, right? And the energy live. You can't even find no parking. Everything is a movie. Last night was a movie. Tonight is a movie. So look, y'all. You want to be out here. You want to be out here.
Thank you so much, Florty.
Yes,
and there's
indeed.
a lot going on. There are fritters, there are tacos, there are an array of food. There are also souvenirs. I got my t-shirt from one of the vendors. I got my book about mythical creatures written by a high school student that is now published. So there is something out here for everyone. Bring the kids. We have boating performing. We have puzzle performing. We have Miss Giggles hosting. And we have the band, the Falcons, on stage. So get down here if you're not already. Live from Pompey Square, reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller. Back to you, Atalia.
All right, Danielle, looks like a lot of fun. I got to check it out. That's our Danielle reporting live for us from Pompey Square.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture partners with Our TV once again, this time for the broadcast of the Bahamas Games that's set to begin this weekend.
Day one of the National Junior and Senior Track Meet wraps up, and an international basketball coach gives some free game to kids in Grand Bahama. Hold tight, Our Sports is up next.
And tonight, our series continues on Our People as we highlight notable Bahamians across the country. We have all the details when our news returns. This is our news. Welcome back. Another big opportunity for the RTV production team with a partnership with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to broadcast the Bahamas Games held from July 7th through the 15th. The games are returning for the first time in 20+ years and will be carried live on channel 212, 243 and 244. Here's Cable Bahamas Vice President of Media David Burrows and TV's Operations Manager Jahali Swan.
Rev Media will be focused on basketball, volleyball, and swimming. And of course, you know swimming is our forte. We've been doing it for a number of years. And now we're adding basketball and volleyball to the mix.
We deliver everything that we do with pure excellence. While we're some of the younger folks here in the game, we understand broadcasting and we're passionate about it. So I assure you that the public will be the ones that will benefit.
Today's sports update is sponsored by Michelob Ultra, distributed in the Bahamas by Jimmy's Wines and Spirits.
Well, in sports, we recap day one of the B3A's national track meet, and a basketball coach mentors kids in Grand Bahama. Here's Tej Adderley with a check on sports. Tej?
Thanks, Italia. Hello, good evening. I'm Tej Adderley, still in the studio because apparently I'm never going to get to Margaritaville. The best Bahamian track and field athletes are in New Providence for the B3A's track and field meet. We have the highlights. The B3A's junior and senior track and field meet began yesterday. The best Bahamian athletes came home to compete in front of their friends and families. One of the most notable performances was Adam Musgrove setting a national under-20 record in the 100 meters with a time of 10.31 seconds. Terrence Jones Jr., our national 100-meter record holder, won the 100 in 10.15 seconds. Stevie Gardner, our 400-meter record holder, also coasted to a victory in the 400-meter semis in a time of 45.95 seconds. Now, the 200 meters and the hurdles happen today, and the 400-meter finals are happening right now. We have the results, so check them out on our social media page, and be sure to tune in tomorrow. Coach Randy Shepard has been all around the world teaching lessons about basketball and life to kids. His latest stop was in Grand Bahama.
Been blessed to go to 68 countries in 47 states, and it's a blessing to be here in the Bahamas.
That's Randy Shepard, who runs Crossfire Ministries. He travels the world teaching about basketball and life.
We use basketball as a platform to gain an audience, to share the most important truths, and that's about a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Coach Shepard was in Grand Bahama at the Ministry of Sports basketball camp mentoring youth. So it's great to see him still at it. That'll do it for sports today. I'm Tej Adderley, and I'm still not at Margaritaville. Maybe tomorrow.
Still ahead on our news tonight, our Candino Knowles reflecting on the accomplishments of the first Bahamian to hold a top position in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And lovely weather around the islands today as we approach the Independence holiday. Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. And
an ice-cold Michelob Ultra, courtesy of Saw Your Airball last game. A refreshing Michelob Ultra, courtesy of As If You've Never Airballed. Another Michelob Ultra, courtesy of Actually I Never Ever Have. Another Ultra,
Welcome back to our news. We had a few thunderstorms today, but that did not stop the heat. Greg, what kind of conditions can we expect over the next few days?
Yeah, thanks again, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for our final check on weather. We have a series of lows spinning out there. Both of them actually in the open Atlantic. And there's a third one just to the southwest of the Bahamas in the Western Caribbean. The one that's just east of the Bahamas, that's pumping a lot of moisture across the area. We're looking for some showers and some isolated thunderstorms as the system stays in place for the next couple of days. Satellite and radar composite showing some showers and thunderstorms mainly across the northwest Bahamas, but most of those showers should wane as the evening goes on, and we will continue to see some of that drift into the central Bahamas over the next 48 hours. Future forecast showing that pretty nicely. Tonight through tomorrow, some showers in the northwest Bahamas. Then by Friday, should thin out somewhat. Most of the activity staying just to the east and north of the Bahamas. And then by Saturday, we expect those showers to start drifting back into our area. Boating conditions for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Winds will be out of south-southeast to south-southwest at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. You can expect a high tide at 11:20 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, we're keeping the caution flag for you guys down there and the rip current risk. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 knots. They will be gusting at times. Seas running 3 to 5 feet over open waters, higher in gusts. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, we'll keep some showers in the forecast on Friday. Saturday, much improved, dry conditions expected. And by Tuesday, early of next week, we expect some more showers in the forecast as another disturbance passes our area. But temperatures will stay rather warm over the next couple of days. So we're asking you to stay rather comfortable and make sure you take frequent breaks if you're doing anything on the outdoors. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, we continue with a special independent segment, Our People, as we highlight notable Bahamians tonight. Candino Knowles reflects on the life and accomplishments of the first Bahamian to hold the top post in the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Salathiel Thompson. And Our Moments brought to you by the Independent Secretariat.
Originally from Bannerman Town, Eleuthera, Salathiel Thompson completed schooling in Nassau, joining the police force in 1937. The following year, he was posted to CID, where he remained for 15 years. He moved up the ranks from constable to sergeant, then on to prosecuting sergeant from 1953 to 1955. It was then on to the police training school until 1957. And soon, Thompson was off to a prosecutor's course in Jamaica. On returning to Nassau, it was back to the court for a stint. By the time he entered gazetted ranks, Mr. Thompson's first post was officer in charge of the Southern Division, later to Central Division. In 1965, he was promoted to superintendent in charge of New Providence. Next came a stint as officer in charge of Grand Bahama. He was transferred between the island and Nassau several times. On June 1st, 1973, he was appointed commissioner, the first Bahamian commissioner in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Within his decorated career, he received the Colonial Police Service Award, the Queen's Police Medal, presented during Her Majesty's visit to Nassau in 1985. He would later earn the Companion of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George in 1978. He was also awarded the Bahamas Order of Merit. Salathiel Thompson died on October 21st, 2020, at the age of 84.
All right, thanks for that, Ken. And thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hogg, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Beach Resort. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for our news this morning, and of course, tomorrow night for our news at 7 and 7:30. Stay tuned. On the Record with Jerome Sawyer starts now.